Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another green makeup video. We are nearing the end of the month. This is the last video of the bunch and today we are talking about the most monochrome green eyeshadow palette I have, which is the Colourpop Just My Luck palette. Before getting into this palette, I wanted to remind you there is a playlist with all of my green makeup content. I will link it in the cards up here as well as in the description box below. There's eyeshadow tutorials there, there's green lipstick, there's a single eyeshadow collection of all of my green eyeshadows, and I go through all of my palettes with green eyeshadows in them, going through the shades, showing you and swatching them with you guys, and you can find everything in that playlist right there. Among those palettes that I showed you was the Just My Luck palette by Colourpop, and I wanted to dedicate it its own video because it is I saw a lot of interest in this palette, a lot of people love it. So let's take a look inside. This is a plastic cover and the palette contains 9 eyeshadows, a mirror, which I haven't taken the plastic off yet because I know I'm just gonna make it all dirty, and 9 eyeshadows. In the back you'll find the sticker with the names, but the names are also on the plastic in front. I was quite shocked at how small these eyeshadows were the first time I opened it. However, looking on the website, these are 9 1-gram eyeshadows. So regular eyeshadows are usually 1.5 grams by Colourpop or 1.4, depending on when they were made actually. I have here a regular one which actually says 1.2, if my eyes don't trick me. And you can see how, yeah, different size. They look smaller. I don't mind too much because I never finish eyeshadow, so I don't need a lot of product, and I'm very happy because this palette retails for only $12, which with some shipping actually came down really cheap to bring to Europe. You don't have to pay taxes, and yeah, it was great. I was very happy that I could pick it up without too much of an expense, and it has a bunch of green eyeshadows. This palette has 4 mattes, one that is a matte with some sheen, but I haven't seen the sheen on my eyes at all. Then we have 4 shimmery eyeshadows. This was released by surprise just before St. Patrick's Day in March, and it arrived here a bit later than that. It was stuck in the customs for a while. But yeah, it was just, I think it was great. Everybody was asking for more greens, and Colourpop doesn't have that many greens in their single eyeshadow collection anyways. So I was thinking of, other than showing you this and showing you the eyeshadow look that I've done, which I filmed and it's gonna be the tutorial at the end of this video, I wanted to show you some comparisons with Colourpop eyeshadows that are already in their collection and their singles. I already started with the first one, which this is called Checkmate, and it is actually a straight up dupe for the shade Chances Are. On top we have Checkmate, and then we have Chances Are from the palette. You can see that color-wise, they are the same. Checkmate was an old limited edition. I think they don't have it anymore, even though I can't keep up with Colourpop's stock. I'm sorry. And you can see that the pigmentation is actually better in the new eyeshadow in the palette. However, the color is similar. Also, these are quite difficult shades to wear. I have it today in my crease as transition, the highest shadow you see on my eye, but it's a very difficult eyeshadow to wear by itself unless you pack it all over the lid, but then it's matte and I would want something shimmery. So yeah, not super excited about that shade. For the other 2 shades, Kiss My Sass and 50/50, in the first row, I'm gonna add the swatches here just to show you. This is Kiss My Sass and this is 50/50. These are quite nice true greens. The first 2 you can see it's quite cool toned, whereas 50/50 is a nice neutral shimmery green. Very pretty shades. I don't have dupes of these from Colourpop, so these are not repeat shades. And I don't think I have dupes in my singles either. I have swatched all of my singles recently, and that's why I'm not going through all of them again to show you dupes, but you can check those out. If you're interested in only a few of these shades, there's close enough shades there as well. Moving on to the next row, we have the shade Big Banks, which is this beautiful, beautiful emerald green that I have on my lid today. And this pulls also a tiny bit cool tones for me. Also quite difficult to wear, I have to say. Like, I cannot imagine wearing it with just browns in the crease or so, but I'll experiment more, I guess. Then we have the shade Mary Jane, which is this beautiful lime green color, and this is very, very similar to Limelight by Makeup Geek. So if you have that and you wanted it only for this shade, you don't need it. And Colourpop themselves have a similar shade. It's this one here called Deja Vu. But you can see in this, the formula is miserable. Like, there's barely, I can see it also on my hands, there's barely any shine, very poor pigmentation. I don't know what happened with that one. I guess they just failed. It's just a very slight sheen, but the base color is the same. I would definitely say skip Deja Vu and get the palette because it's so much better. Then the third shade in the second row is called Olive, and it's an olive green, and it's this one here. Very pretty. It reminds me a lot of Jester by Makeup Geek or Side of Olives by Colored Rain. Very pretty. And I thought it was similar or useful to compare with Rosé All Day by Colourpop. And it's this one here, which you can see actually is quite a bit lighter, so it's not really the same at all. However, yeah, the olive is not a revolutionary shade, let's call it that. I have this quite a few times, as I mentioned, in my single eyeshadows. On the bottom row, we have two mattes and the sheeny one. Let's call it like that. The first matte is Act Natural, and it is this true middle of the road green, beautiful matte eyeshadow. It works really well. I have it today in my crease. Worked really well. Then I wanted to compare it to Conjure Up, which is one of the new single shadows by Colourpop. This one doesn't swatch really well, but it works well on the eyes. I've used it multiple times. And you can see that Conjure Up is a little bit more muted and less bright green than the other one, but the shades are quite similar. I guess Conjure Up is a little bit more wearable because it's more muted. And then the next shade is in the palette is called Mobamba, which is this matte with some sheen in it. I don't know, guys. And this is the most beautiful green, the green. When I think of green, this is the green I think of. And honestly, in the palette, you see some sheen, but I can't find any sheen in my swatches. I can't find any sheen when I apply it to my eyes. I have it on the outside of my eye today and tight lined on my lashes, lash line on the lower lash line, and it's the most beautiful green, most beautiful green. And the final shade in the palette is the shade Charmed, and this is a swampy, murky matte green. Beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful. And I wanted to compare it to Team Captain, which is one of their single eyeshadows, and you can see that they're really different. Team Captain is more of a gray green, and then Charmed is more of a browny green. And these were the last comparisons for the eyeshadow palette. There's only 9 shades, luckily. And as I mentioned, I didn't want to go through the whole collection, but I know my singles quite well, so when I did have something similar, I mentioned it. Overall, my impressions of this palette are very good. The quality is what you can expect from Colourpop. The greens blend really well. I was so impressed with the fade and the blend that they have on the eyes. The shimmers don't perform amazingly dry, but they're there, like they're pigmented and they layer. But then you just put a little bit of Fix Plus on your brush and you'll see when I apply these eyeshadows on my eyes. Very nice. I think that if you like these colors, you should definitely pick it up. For the price and the quality, it's really good. It's not like the quality for the price. No, the quality is good. I would buy it even if it costs 20 euros, $20, 20 units of money, let's say. But it's 12, so that's an even more reason. This makes me really, really want to get all of their monochrome palettes, and I think that's their whole point of having these tiny palettes so well priced, is that you can buy them all, collect them all. But honestly, the purple one I don't need, and a few of those shadows are single shadows that I have, so I don't need them, and I never wear purple. The red and the blue ones, I have all those shades, and there's warm neutrals, nah, brown, nah. So, oh, my stock is ready. So yeah, I think that it's really great that you can pick and choose what eyeshadows you like and what colors you like and pick it up. However, this is not really the shade range that I would have picked. Let's put it that way. It's like this really light one, make it shimmery, then it has a point. Didn't need it to be matte. I like the 1 and 2 cool toned greens that you can use together. Then I would have liked another warm toned, a lighter warm toned matte green that you could fit with these two eyeshadows. And yeah, I like the two shimmers. I would have made this a 12 pan palette and then like thought a little bit more about it. Let's put it that way. Overall though, very nice palette. I don't know how much I'll use it. I'm sure I can get everyday looks with it, but yeah, this is a bit much, let's say, for an everyday look. I don't know if I would wear this, or like, I know I would, but I don't know that the average person would wear this a lot. So yeah, overall great impression, great value for the palette. You get 9 grams of shadow for $12. It's great. I had no problems in getting it to me. I had no problems blending with it. And if you like the color story, get it. It's great. It's like way better quality than the Morphe palette, for example. I have such a better affinity with these eyeshadows. And as you've seen, there's a few similar shadows in their singles that I put together here. But yeah, not a lot, and not perfect dupes, thankfully. I mean, it's their own collection. How would they dupe their own eyeshadows, right? I hope this was useful for you guys. We are going to jump into the tutorial for this look right now so that you can see most of these eyeshadows applied on the eyes. Let me know down below if you picked this palette up and what kind of looks you'd make with them. I am sure to post mine on Instagram as well. And yeah, let's get into the tutorial. I am starting with the shade Chances Are on a big fluffy brush and applying it liberally onto my crease transition area. Then with a smaller brush and the shade Kiss My Ass, which must be a pun, but I don't get it. Maybe it's Irish? I don't know. Someone from Ireland can confirm or not confirm in the comments below. And I'm just gonna start deepening and making a bit more gradient of green for this look. With an even smaller brush and the shade Act Natural, I am going to go on the outer V and in the crease, still chasing this gradient. And then with the brush I used before, just blending things out again, making sure there's no harsh lines. I have to say, I don't love this brush. This is from Pixi, it's the E03. It's a bit too stiff. So it applies the shade, but it doesn't really blend it very well. I'm taking my flat brush and the shade Big Bangs. I am first tapping the brush in the shadow and then taking Fix Plus. You've seen me do this a lot, especially lately in my 35M palette video, because that's how I have been applying my shimmers. And you can see what a beautiful foiled effect it gives. This shadow is also nice if you apply it dry, but it's really not that intense. Then it's more of a tone-on-tone wash of color with a little bit of shimmer. Then with the other side of my brush and 50-50, I am going to apply that just on the edge to darken and blend the shimmer into the matte. And then with the smallest brush I'm gonna take Mo Bamba, which is this darker shade right here, and really deepening the outer V and the crease. Final run of blending. And now I'm gonna finish my face and then come back for the lower lash line. Okay, I am keeping it extremely monochrome with Teacup, I think, Teaspoon by Colourpop, and popping that into my waterline just to be extremely monochromatically green. And then going in with Kiss My Ass again, that second shade that we used, and putting it underneath my lower lash line. I apologize, I already have mascara, but I was out all day with no makeup, just mascara and brow gel. So I have mascara already. With a sharper brush, this is the Morphe M432 and the shade Mo Bamba. I am going to push this literally on the lash line to define my eyes a little bit more. And now I'm a bit doubting, because I would put a very light frosty version of this shade on my inner corner, but the only light shimmers are this yellow, which I feel it's already been and done and seen multiple times, or the shade I have on my lid. So I guess it's gonna be yellow, because there's not a lot of options otherwise. But you've seen me make such a look very recently during my month of green makeup, so yeah, I'm sorry for that, but this palette is a bit limited when it comes to color choices. I guess that happens in a monochromatic palette. Here we go. Let me refresh my mascara and put on lashes, and I'll be right back. And here is the finished look using the Colourpop Just My Luck palette. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed also taking a look at the palette and comparisons and what I think about it. Again, it's up to you if you want a green palette. This definitely has some shades, but not the ones that I would pick in a green palette, I have to say. It's shades I don't own. Definitely different from what I have. Also something I rarely wear though. So yeah, it's a little bit up to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm getting tongue twisted, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye guys.